To create a great team in the AFL, you must have a group of great players. You can have all the tactics and set up a game plan, but the people on the field need to have the fitness, intelligence and skill to implement it. There's no surprise that the foundation of some of the best teams in modern times have been built from the AFL draft. You can't create a solid 22 from one, but there is no doubt that nailing a specific draft can set you up for future success. Here are a few of the greatest single season draft hauls in AFL history. Exactly 10 years ago, Collingwood would gather a group of players who were all pivotal in last season's premiership. They had 3 picks inside the top 30 and nailed every single one of them in the 2014 draft. During that off-season, they did trade Dane Beams to Brisbane, securing pick 5 and a player. That player was Jack Crisp. At the time of making this, he's played 226 games straight, is a premiership player and won back-to-back best and fairest in 2021 and 2022. Moving to the draft, that pick 5 allowed them to pick up Jordan De Goey. Now he has had his inconsistencies and off-field issues, but at his best has been one of the most dynamic players in the AFL. His big game performances have been outstanding, including both grand finals he has played in, and specifically the 2023 preliminary final against the Giants, in which he was by far the best player on the ground. For a career, he's averaged 18.7 disposals and 1 goal a game. At pick 9 came a matched bid for father-son Darcy Moore. After a slow start to his career up forward, he's become one of the premier defenders and one of the best captains. His first season as skipper led them to a flag, and individually he's been recognised twice as an All-Australian in 2020 and 2023. At pick 30 was defender Braden Maynard. He's been an ultra-consistent player in the back half, playing on all types of opposition forwards. He plays on the edge physically, and although he may not be a favourite around the competition, clearly Magpie fans love the way he asserts himself in games. He was All-Australian in 2022. The final pickup in 2014 was international rookie Mason Cox. In total, the American has played over 120 games and kicked 120 goals. Since Craig McRae has come in, his partnership with Darcy Cameron has flourished and he's become an important role player. He himself has had memorable finals performances, most notably in the 2018 final series, but has actually been very consistent in the past couple seasons. Combined, the 5 players have totaled 867 games, and each one was a part of the 2023 Premiership team. Not bad for one draft period. How about getting 5 players that played over 200 games in a single draft? It's what Geelong managed to do in 1999, and although it took some time, each player was pivotal during their golden period in the late 2000s. Before the draft, they snagged Cameron Mooney away from North Melbourne in a trade. He kicked more than 25 goals in a season 5 times, winning 2 premierships with the Cats and being named All-Australian in 2007. But unlike Collingwood, the Cats nailed their picks at the back end of the draft. But pick 8 saw them select midfielder Joel Corey, who was a dual All-Australian on-baller and 2-time best and fairest winner. He was one of the most consistent midfielders during his time in the AFL. However, pick 15, 17 and 23 added David Spriggs, Ezra Bray and Daniel Foster. Bray didn't play a game for Geelong, Foster appeared just 17 times, and Spriggs managed 64 games before being delisted in 2004. Those types of draft selections won't work, but the next trio did. Pick 31 was Paul Chapman. 280 games and 366 goals is some career. While at Geelong, he won the 2009 Norm Smith Medal, kicking 3 goals in the grand final. He won the 2006 Best and Fairest and was back-to-back All-Australian in 2009 and 2010. Pick 38 was Cameron Ling. The scrappy tagger captained Geelong after Tom Harley for the 2010 and 2011 seasons. Although he clamped the opposition's best on baller, Ling still averaged 21.5 disposals for his career and polled 71 total Brownlow votes. He was a part of the 2007 and 2009 premierships, but nothing would top captaining the side in 2011, which would be his last season in the AFL. The final of the late picks was Corey Enright at selection 47. He has to be one of the best draft steals of all time. The defender played a ridiculous 332 games and got better with age. He was a 6-time All-Australian, including 4 straight selections from 2008 to 2011, and was in the team in 2016, his last season in the competition. There aren't many better defenders in the AFL's era. The 1999 draft built the backbone for the Cats. The 5 played 1,315 total games, and each of them filled a line. Mooney and Chapman were up forward, Corey and Ling were in the middle, and Enright was a general in defence. Third all time for average games played per draftee is one of the West Coast Eagles' crops of youngsters. The 7 players taken by the Eagles in the 2010 National and Rookie Draft averaged 123 games per player. But it's 4 specific ones that were important in winning the 2018 Grand Final. West Coast had finished 2010 dead last and were in a rebuild period. They were able to get a mid-second round pick from the AFL as a priority selection to bolster their draft hand. With pick 4, they selected Andrew Gaff. Now I know in the past few seasons he's become a shadow of his former self, but Eagles fans will tell you he was a star. Mainly out on a wing or on ball, Gaff was a 2-time All-Australian and won the best and fairest in 2015. He has averaged 24 or more disposals in 10 individual seasons and has polled more than 13 Brownlow votes 4 times. He had 16 votes by round 20 in 2018 before that horror hit on Andrew Brayshaw cost him the rest of the season and the premiership medal. Now that priority pick, which sat at selection 26, was used to select Jack Darling. 280 games and well over 500 goals later, he has been a constant since he was drafted. 6 times he has kicked 40 plus goals, including 59 in 2019, the same season he was named All-Australian. Most of his career was spent as second fiddle to Josh Kennedy in a powerful 1-2 punch in a great era at West Coast. He still might get to 300 AFL games. 3 picks later at 29 was Scott Lysette. He did only manage 75 games at West Coast before moving to Port Adelaide, and I know he wasn't a star. Still, he's a premiership ruckman, and with Nick Natanui out during the back end of 2018, Lysette was great with Nathan Vardy, and both played an important role, quelling Brodie Grundy's influence in the grand final. But the gem for the Eagles in this draft was found at pick 44 in the rookie draft, their final selection of the entire off-season. It's none other than Jeremy McGovern. He's one of the best intercept defenders the game has ever seen and began the defining play of the 2018 Grand Final victory. Injury has curtailed him to a touch over 180 games, but 4 straight All-Australians between 2016 and 2019 shows how dominant he was at his peak. Throw in a game-winning goal against the Power as well, and it shows how great of a career McGovern has had. A pretty neat pickup for your last selection in the rookie draft. There are plenty more draft classes to delve into, so if your team is one you would like to share, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.